What's up everybody, Carter Session here. Welcome back to another video, and today we have my AEW Dynamite Homecoming review. And it was another great episode of Dynamite, another solid episode. So let's not waste time, let's get into it. But before I do that, I want to say, can you please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe and all that stuff. So let's get straight into it. The show opened up with Juventud Guerrero versus Chris Jericho, and this was a fun match to see. I won't necessarily call it the best in like bell to bell match, but I had some good stuff. You know, Hoovy looked good. He done dives out of the ring. He was flying around the place. There was a Jericho had to win with the top rope maneuver, so Juventud went for a Frankenstein off the top rope. Jericho kind of catches him, drops him down into a line tamer while Jericho. Juventud got to the rope. Jericho then hits. I'm kind of paraphrasing through the match. Jericho hit a Judas effect, then of course went for the cover but couldn't win. So he goes up top, hits a sick looking top rope Judas effect. It looked perfect, landed it perfect, and picked up the win in the opener. As I said, it wasn't the best match ever, but it was solid, it was fun, it was good to see Juventud again. Yeah, and he looked decent against Jericho here. And yeah, very enjoyable opening contest. MJF then reveals Labour number 4 is none other than Wardlow. And considering it's coming after Juventud Guerrero and Nick Gage, I can understand where people are coming from, where it's saying it's a letdown. But to me, I like Wardlow, so I'm happy to see Wardlow versus Jericho. I'm interested to see how they do this. So yeah, I kind of don't want to see Wardlow just take a clean loss to Jericho. MJF will be at ringside as well in Wardlow's corner. So yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how they do this. Yeah, as I said, it probably will lead to Wardlow losing cleanly. But personally, as a big Wardlow fan, I kind of want to see if they can kind of protect him a bit. But AEW are good where losses don't really hurt people too much. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see there. Then there was just Andrade and Chavo with the Lucha Bros cutting a promo backstage, as they have recently as well. And then Hangman Page and the Dark Order, basically Hangman said that he needs to take some time away and separate from the Dark Order. And Evil Uno ends it saying, like Silver and all are like, oh, we need to go after him. And Uno and all were like, let's give him time. He wants to go by himself, so let him go by himself. Moxley and Kingston teaming up with Darby against 2.0, which is Matt Lee and Jeff Parker and Daniel Garcia. Again, this was a fun matchup, solid TV matchup here. 2.0, of course, the former Everrise in NXT. They look very good here. They kind of got a chance to show what they're about in a high profile match as well, with Kingston, Darby and Moxley on the other side. And they did look like they very good, and I did like them in NXT. I thought they had a lot of potential, so I do hope AEW can pick them up. I do think they would be a great addition to AEW. So yeah, Darby and Eddie and Mox of course got the win. Of course they had Sting with them as well. As expected, they picked up the win. Not really to write home about here either. Then just a good promo recapping the Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, Team Taz feud. So yeah, just kind of build it, like kind of tell the story of that and continue it on. And then the Elite backstage with a basketball, shooting hoops, just basically talking about the match they had last week and how they're the greatest champions. And actually, Doc Gallows had like a Ric Flair robe on, so like kind of playing into the rumors of Ric Flair possibly coming to AEW, which have been going around recently. So yeah, very interesting to see again, like if Ric Flair comes in and what role will he come in. It's obviously he's probably going to come in as manager, but for who, I should say. That's if he does come in. That's just going off the rumors that are going around on the internet. But yeah, this was just a solid Elite promo talking about the match last week and how they're the best champions in the world. Christian Cage then versus The Blade in again, this was a pretty good matchup. Christian has been, I'm a big Christian fan, and he's looked good since coming back to AEW. So yeah, picking up the win here against the Blade, and as I said, I think it was in my last review. I like what they're doing with the Blade, especially with the Butcher being out injured. It's good seeing Blade kind of in the spot. I think the role suits him. And I'm interested to, but as I said, I'm interested to see what they end up doing when the Blade comes back. I do like Butcher and Blade as a team. But yeah, Blade has been looking good in this role that he's in. Then there was and actually before I move on, Layla Hirsch came out to attack the bunny when she tried to get involved. Of course, kind of building up to the match they were having later on in the card. Britt Baker, DMD, cut a promo and basically Red Velvet into rubs, and they challenges her for the title. Britt accepts for Pittsburgh, the debut episode of Rampage, which I like. A big title match to start off the debut of Rampage. Britt, of course, from Pittsburgh, so of course she's going to have a big match in her hometown. So that should be a good one. And then Andrade cut another promo with Chavo, and they basically attack Fuego del Sol. Poor Fuego just can't seem to get a break after getting his head kicked off last week by Malachi Black. Then there was a FTR Pride and Powerful promo, kind of just recapping the match they had last week and the injury to Cash. And Dax cut a great promo here. Dax was fantastic. Really sold me on a rematch. Not that he needed to sell me on one, but because I was already looking forward to one. But yeah, like that or Cash or not Cash, Dax cut a fantastic promo. He was fantastic in here, and yeah, just kind of recapping that. Hangman Page then has a promo in the ring, gets interrupted by the Elite, kind of breaks down with the Elite attacking Hangman. Dark Order come to run out and save, and Uno and Grayson, I believe, were the ones who put a stop to it as the Elite beat down Hangman. Again, kind of very interested to see the direction where this goes. As I said last week, I still do think the plan is to put the belt on Hangman from Kenny. It's just how do we get there now? And having the Dark Hangman kind of want to go separate ways from the Dark Order, and here where the Dark Order kind of stop. Well, half the Dark Order run in, and the other kind of stopping him. No, he wants to go alone. Let him go alone. So I'm kind of interested to see how this plays out and where this goes. So yeah, another fantastic segment here. And again, as I've said, this Hangman build towards the world title, this feud with Kenny, is one of my favorite builds in wrestling in a long time. So yeah, this is just another chapter in that story, and interesting to see what happens next. Then we had a Dan Lambert promo. Of course, he was on Dynamite a few weeks ago when Lance Archer attacked him with the blackout, and he says he's coming with backup next week. And of course, Dan Lambert, I believe he's the coach of American Top Team. So we could see a few members of American Top Team coming in. Maybe he comes in with a wrestler. I don't know. Most likely, it probably will be someone from American Top Team. So yeah, again, kind of interested to see what happens here and where that goes. Big Shotty Lee Johnson challenged Miro for the TNT Championship. This was again solid matchup. This was exactly what it needed to be. Miro looked dominant without hurting Lee Johnson. Lee Johnson got offense in and looked good against Miro while Miro still looked like a monster. It was the perfect mix. And of course Miro retained in a dominant fashion. But Big Shotty Lee Johnson got a chance to shine here. Then AEW, they revealed the announced team for AEW Rampage, and I just kind of want to touch on this a bit. It's Taz, Excalibur, Chris Jericho, and Mark Henry, and it sounds like a fantastic boot, but I'm not sure how a four-man commentary team will work. Maybe it might be too much. But yeah, we kind of have to wait and see. I know Jericho has done stuff on commentary in AEW before to make it a four-man boot on certain shows, and it hasn't been too much. It has been okay. So yeah, it's interesting to see this. Of course, big fan of Taz and Excalibur on commentary. They're literally two of my favorite commentators. I've loved Taz on commentary since his days on SmackDown. I loved Excalibur since I first started watching PWG. Of course, as I mentioned, Jericho's done good stuff on commentary for AEW already. And Mark Henry's kind of the wild card here. Interested to see how he does on commentary. I don't think I've ever heard him on commentary before, so it will be interesting to see Mark on commentary as well. Then Christian Cage cuts a promo backstage with Tony Schiavone, basically revealing he's now number 1 in the rankings. And he says he's elite. So interesting to kind of see where this goes. Probably will lead to a a Kenny and Christian match, which will be a banger. As I said already, big fan of the instant classic Christian Cage, Kenny Omega. There's a reason why he's called the best bout machine. These two, it is kind of like a dream match of sorts. But yeah, this will be a fantastic matchup either way, whether it happens on Dynamite or All Out or whenever this does eventually take place. I know this will be a killer matchup that I'm looking forward to. And for this big title match, Christian, please bring back the jacket, because that's how I roll. Then we had Layla Hirsch defeating the Bunny for the shot at the NWA Women's Championship. Solid matchup here again, nothing really special, but Layla did pick up the win. I'm happy about that, as I said in my prediction. Big fan of Layla Hirsch, and since her days in Stardom, so I wanted her to get the big win here, and she did, and now she's going on to challenge Camille for the NWA Women's Championship. And Camille was at ringside and got in the ring and had a stare down with Layla. And Layla is a small competitor, Camille is a tall competitor, so like the height difference, it made for a great visual, and it just shows like the big challenge that Layla has to overcome to get her hands on the NWA Women's Championship. So yeah, very excited for that potential matchup. But as I said in my predictions, I think Layla and Camille will have a great chemistry together. Then what did we have? It was the main event. It was Cody Rhodes versus Malachi Black. And this was, again, perfect, exactly what needed to be. Malachi just coming in, dominating, destroying Cody, reminiscent of the Brody Lee match where he defeated Cody and just destroyed him. Malachi looked dangerous, looked like a vicious striker, had a big, great, spectacular entrance, and just dominated Cody, destroyed Cody, and got the win as he should have. And then this is kind of the one part of the show where I'm not really, it was okay. It did do its job. I'll get into it. So Tony Schiavone gets in the ring with Cody and like helping him up and like asking him a couple of questions. And Cody gets on the mic and cuts a promo where he's kind of like hinting that he's retiring. He takes one of his boots off. He's going to leave it in the ring. And Malachi comes from behind with a crutch that the AEW doctor had like slid in the ring to help Cody after the match. And he hits him in the back with it. And then like the show ends with that shot of Cody lying down with Black standing above him. And like the retirement hint was kind of a weird angle to go about. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Maybe because I was like, sure, maybe it's because I didn't really buy into it. Maybe it's because I was watching and I was like, what's going to happen here? There's something going to happen here. Surely Cody's not going to retire. And like something did happen. So maybe that's why I'm not really sold on it. But from what I mean, but it did do its job. And what I mean by that is I have some unanswered questions that I want to watch Dynamite for next week that I want answered. So from that aspect, I guess it did do its job. I want to know, like, why was Cody going to retire? Was he actually going to retire? Why did Black attack him and not let him retire after he had already beaten him? Questions like that. And I'm not sure if doing it straight after the match was the right idea as well. Maybe it would have had, like, I guess it had that shock factor, like, what's going on here? But yeah, as I said, I guess it did its job because it had that shock factor, and two, it has me with unanswered questions that I want to watch Dynamite and I want to find out and I want these questions answered. But yeah, I'm not sure if doing it straight after the match was kind of like the right idea. Maybe just have the match end and the show ends just with Cody in the ring, and then you could maybe have him come out next week and go, I had some time thinking, I'm just become a father. I need to think about, I'm not just thinking about me, I need to think about my family. I'm going to step away and then have Black attack, and maybe that would have had more of an impact on me personally. But yeah, it was kind of just out of the blue. Like, why was he going to retire? Was this planned before the match, or did he just decide after, like, as he was getting up, you know what, I'm done? So, like, again, this is what I mean by unanswered questions, that I guess it's done its job because I want to find out the answers to these questions. So yeah, that is it for this video. Let me know what you thought of AEW Dynamite Homecoming in the comment section below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next one.